Hey guys, so today I'm going to finally show you all a little tutorial on how I use the Revlon one-step volumizer. I love this brush. I recommended it to literally everybody I've come into contact with. I've used it on a bunch of my family and friends. They've all gone and bought them. I know a couple of you have, which is super cool. Like, can we get a promo code? I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's so amazing. So my hair, I just washed my hair, conditioned it, shampooed it. It's still a little bit too damp to blow dry. The ends are still kind of like dripping a little bit. So as soon as it kind of like finishes drying a little bit more, because we still want it to be damp, but not like so damp, we'll get started. Okay, so it's pretty much ready to go. I do have this like kind of microfiber drying towel that I will just use to make sure that it is ready. I do have a spray bottle as well, just filled with water. Like if some parts start to get too dry, I'll just kind of like mist those, just in case like I'm working too slow. But other than that, I've got my brush ready. I've got a hair clip that I'm gonna use. I've got my tool, and I also have a little like heat pad for it to lay on when I'm not using it. So first things first, I'm gonna just go ahead and section my hair. I just take like mostly a big section of the roots, and I'm gonna clip that forward. I just really like to kind of go in sections for this, almost like if you were straightening or curling your hair, just because you are like blow drying it mainly. So I want to make sure that I'm getting every piece and that I'm not gonna have any damp. So so we will work on that. So this has a couple settings. It has high, low, and cool. I always use high. I've also heard with this you should use a heat protectant on your hair. I haven't yet. I might in the future. Normally when I use this, I don't use any products on my hair and it does fine. I just recently have started using a blowout spray. So I'm waiting to kind of see if that's made a difference, but other than that, you can use really whatever you want. Like if you want to use the volumizer on your roots, but he's pretty amazing on his own, quite honestly. And then it's pretty straightforward then. So I will just take like a small section like this, and I'll kind of start at my root, but the trick I do is I kind of like turn it. That way it like almost like curls that top piece out, right? It's like obviously it wasn't on, but you'll see what I mean. And even that, just kind of get like the extra boost, and I'll do that all the way up. So let's get started. So already I've only done like a couple pieces, and you can just like see the difference. I wanted to add too, like I don't do that technique all the time. Like I will do that most of it, but like I kind of switch up how I do it. So like sometimes I'll kind of go to the side and do it just because like I want to get like maybe a little bit larger section, but I'm still really focusing on my root. Like I might have it out, but I'll still be like kind of curling it inward, if that makes sense, to get my root. When I do this, I kind of like a more wavy, blown out look. Like I'm not going for a super straight look. Like I really am going for like just got my hair blown at the salon and I'm walking out like, but I did it at home. So if you want a more straightened look, just kind of like watch how you're turning the brush. Like so specifically when I'm getting towards my ends, I'll kind of again curl up. Obviously it's going to curl your ends, so if it's not what you want, just don't do that, you know. Or when you're finished and it's all said and done, you're like really volumized, you know, you can obviously go ahead in with your straightener and get those couple pieces out. But just for me, I like it to be as full and, you know, voluminous as possible. So. I think that section is pretty much good. I think a couple pieces in the back are a little damp still, but I'll get them when I do this section. But just like, that literally took, I don't know, 3 minutes to do just this section. So, it's just so simple too. Like, there really isn't a lot of ways you can mess this up. Literally anybody can do it. The only thing I try to avoid is just like using it just as like a hairbrush, you know? Like, I will use it in some formats, but mainly I'm just trying to like style each piece, kind of. I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, it's so easy. All right. And then I just brush out this section too. I always brush out all my sections because my hair is naturally curly, so I don't want it to pull on my hair. You know, trying to keep things as healthy as possible. Stay hydrated. Here we go. Okay, so the bottom layer is all done. I mean, look at that. That's amazing. So if you're somebody who struggles kind of like getting the back of your head, the only thing I do to kind of like help that is I will swing all of my hair around. That way I'm getting both of my sections, and then I will just like try and find that middle section and kind of like, you know, work it in, make sure it's smooth or straight, even if you're curling it. And then I will flip it to the other side and do the same thing, just to like make sure that's dry too. Occasionally, I will flip my head upside down and do it that way too, because I have really, you know, those baby hairs you get underneath of like all of your hair. I'll like try and smooth those out too. So, but whatever works for you. You know, we all have our own methods. It's just what I do. So, next, I'm not gonna take this whole section down yet because the top is the most important part, and I'll tell y'all why. But I'm gonna take like 2 more sides down. There's no science to this, like parting your hair or doing whatever. Like, whatever works for you. Also, if you're like, her sections are so big or small, like again, like just do what works for you and what you're comfortable with. Like, I obviously know I can go a little bit faster and take bigger sections even when I'm drying it as well, just like because I know how long it's going to take me and like I know what will work. But if you're a little worried, just go slow. I mean, who cares? Take your time. You'll get it. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on the sides. Again, really trying to like boost that root and a lot of what we did down here. Let's do it. Also, I forgot. Whenever I'm like doing anything on one side of the head, I always kind of like want to do it away from this side of my face. So like sometimes if you see me like do a big piece, you'll kind of like see me do it out this way. Occasionally I will do it towards in, but like for the majority of the time I'm gonna do everything away from my face, just so it kind of like all opens it up. That's just something I like to do, and I just feel like, again, it kind of like makes everything like bigger and more volumized. So that part is just about done. Also, don't be afraid to go back in if like it's not quite as smooth as you want yet, but it's pretty dry. Just with the heat from the brush, you'll probably be able to get it a little bit more smooth. Because like even though I go for a wavy look anyway, sometimes I think something's dry, but then when I come back to it, I can like, it's a little bit more wavier, or just, you know, has more of a pattern than I'd like. So I will go back in with it. I don't know. But yeah, don't be afraid, even if it's dry, to go back, because it's probably fine. I mean, obviously it's gonna work best when it's like truly damp, but it doesn't mean you like, just because it's dry, you can't come back to it, you know? So let's do this side now. We are getting there. All right, now the top part. That's like the most important part, at least in my opinion, because this is where the majority of your volume is gonna come from, right? Like, I still basically do the same thing, but there's like a couple different things I do. I don't know, maybe only like one thing, but if you're familiar with teasing, I kind of use that same method. So I'm still gonna like dry most of this part normally, how I just did, so like curling under and pulling it out, especially since it's all just this. But I will kind of go back and grab from both sections, and I will use the brush and kind of just like do the same thing, but you know, going back now. And I will kind of do that all the way up, because see, like even if I had done that theoretically, it would give me a little bit extra lift. So you don't have to do that. I'm just bougie and like to try and get as much volume as I can. Don't worry about it if you can't get it. You can get it eventually, and there are a lot of ways you can get volume if you know that is a little bit more difficult, but don't worry. So let's try it. I'm gonna try and brush it out each time before I do it, just so I'm not ripping my hair out. Please don't look at my grown out highlights. We all have our struggles. Okay, so it's a little weird and it's a little unnatural to do, but you know, we gotta make it work. So I'm gonna hold it using this hand, grab this, turn it on, and then I'm gonna do it in this hand. Still turn it. Then I turn it off and grab my next section, because I just don't want to leave it on, and it's hard to do it all while it's still like making its noise. Okay. Okay, a couple of times, only twice. I did go on top and do it, and brush it back kind of, only because I have a little bit of dampness. So if you saw that and you were like, that's why. Okay, now, I mean, we're pretty much there. Like, this could probably be fine, mostly, but, I mean, good God, look at that. Like, is that insane? Do y'all remember the wet dog I looked like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago? My part, actually, I flip it from side to side. So I'm gonna just make sure that like that little chunk that I did last is ready to go in case I flip it, because I don't want any waves on this side. Okay, so I'm just gonna dry that real quick and then I think we're about done. Just for giggles, I'm gonna go ahead and do under my neck like I was talking about, and sign because I'm sweating. I mean, I told you. Okay, I'm gonna brush this out just a little bit, because we don't want knots. But I mean, that's it. Like, that was so easy. Where was this back in high school when I was waking up at the crack of dawn to curl my hair? I mean, oh God, I love this tool. And it's only like $44 on Amazon right now, I think. And I paid $60 at like Kohl's. They also have it at Ulta. I even saw it at Sam's Club. Y'all need this tool. It's a lifesaver. Literally, this probably in total, if I hadn't been talking, 20 minutes. Maybe 15. But, yeah. And, like, I probably won't even go back in and straighten this because, like, I kind of like, you know, the little bit of wave that it has. But if you did want to, you could. Because, like, you know, I have a couple baby hairs here that, like, get curly, but I'm not even mad about them. So, yeah, that is it. That is all I do. Sometimes I'll sleep on this and it'll be fine for the next morning. I just brush it and I'm good to go. But yeah, clearly it doesn't take long, so I could easily do this in the morning if I wanted to. I'd probably prefer to as well, even though I am, like, you know, more of a night shower. Because I do like to do it on clean hair. That's another thing. I like to do it on my clean hair. I've never tried dampening my hair and then doing it. You could try it. I'm sure it'd be fine, but I just don't want it looking greasy for any reason. But yeah, that's it. So I hope you all enjoy. If you get this, let me know and let me know how it goes. I literally love getting messages that, like, you know, I just got it or something, or if you need help, reach out. I'll see what I can do. But I hope you guys enjoy, and for those of you that have it, I hope if you did make it through this, these tips help you. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and I guess turn on the bell. It's so weird saying that now. And don't forget to follow my Instagram, Self-Care by Kelsey. Please share. I don't even know. But just thank you everyone for the support and watching. I really appreciate it. So I'll see y'all later.